morning, everyone. Before we start the class, I would like to ask you some questions. Have you used your mobile phone today? What did you use it for? Take myself as an example. The first thing I did after I woke up this morning is to check my mobile phone. I usually use Line and Instagram to see what happened to my friends, family, and other people every morning, including today.
We all have curiosity. One of the advantages in the advance of technology is to make obtaining information easier. We can find massive information in a quicker and more convenient way. However, does this also mean that curiosity might be easier to be satisfied? Now, I have a movie trailer for all of you. Please pay attention to it.
How would you describe what the circle is to, say, your grandmother?
It's the chaos of the web made elegant.
Speed round, Paul or John?
Early Paul, late John.
Mario or Sonic?
Early Sonic, late Mario.
Needs of the society or needs of the individual?
Should be the same.
You're most scared of?
Unfulfilled potential.
I am a believer in the perfectibility of human beings. When we are our best selves, the possibilities are endless. At the circle, there isn't a problem that we cannot solve. We can cure any disease and we can end hunger without secrets, without the hoarding of knowledge and information. We can finally realize our potential. Circlers, do you like to share? We will see it all. If it happens, we'll know. Imagine the human rights implications. There needs to be accountability.
What is this?
The circle has the power to change everything. It's only our lies that get us in trouble. Things we hide. We care about everybody you care about. Because knowing is good, but knowing everything is better.
Okay, what do you see in this video? In this video, what impressed you the most? Besides, for me, there's an impressive sentence which is, because knowing is good, but knowing everything is better. What do you think to this sentence? Is knowing everything really a good thing to us? Or is it actually a hazard? People might say that, wait, the things in the video will not happen in this world. However, there might always have a but. Actually, this scenario did happen in real world. It is now happening in a country and we actually have a close relationship with this country. What country do you think it is? I guess someone might know the answer. This country is China. Let's see how all this happens in China.
是的。现在2号机是锁起门的。对，就是这的。
Well, let's see how long it takes you to find me. Thank you very much. Let's go.
我们可以追溯到说出现每一张脸都可以对应说他的身份证，以及他所经过，比方说在过去1周，我们回溯他的行经路程，我们也做了像人和车的匹配。那同时在人上匹配还包括亲属关系的匹配，然后是你经常接触人员之间匹配。就是当摄像机布到或者我们传感器布到一定密度的时候，其实我们会经常知道你跟谁经常在一起。
Well, here we are then. I've just got out of the car, close to the city centre, and for the purposes of this exercise, the plan is for me to start walking in the direction of the bus station. My image has already been flagged to the authorities as a suspect, and in theory, it should only be a matter of time. So already on this bridge, I can see 1, 2, 3 CCTV cameras. Of course, there's no point hiding from them. Just keep on walking.
不一呢，不一定非要从门里头通过，他就站在。哎，对，就是这里，就是这里。对，就是这里。
Uh-oh. Right behind me, you can see just over my left shoulder there. Hello, guys. I've been expecting you. Maybe these guys aren't in on the joke.
那么对平民老百姓，是老百姓需要帮助的时候，我们才会录入这套系统。那他不需要帮助的这种情况，那么我们是不需要采集他的信息的。那这种信息只是在我们大数据里面有他的信息就行了。那在什么时候使用，是根据我们的需要来做这项工作的。
If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear.
对，是这样。所以说，老百姓应该不用担心。
After knowing what happened in China, some of you might wonder, what is Skynet? A Skynet is China's massive video surveillance network. Skynet is the Chinese government's video surveillance system. Its claim is for tracking criminals. According to the officials, Skynet is able to catch a fugitive within minutes. Under this project, more than 20 million cameras have been set up in public spaces across the country, dedicated to live surveillance and recording. China plans to install hundreds of millions more cameras by 2020. China's state media claims that it's the world's biggest surveillance network, calling it the eyes that safeguard China. But it's also little fears about the impact of constant surveillance on the public at large, and it might be used to target dissidents as well. When it comes to Skynet, we will think of...
I'll be back.
Oh, not you! Authorities claim that the system is intended to keep the public safe. State media and local governments often like to promote how well it works. And it might be the fact. Last year, BBC journalist Johnson was visiting one of China's local control rooms to figure out how the system works. In his exercise of demonstrating his system, police took a mugshot of him before he started to escape. Then, it only took the police 7 minutes to find him. How powerful is Skynet? In 2018, the police relied on this surveillance system to catch 80 fugitives at Jackie Chan's concert. And then, John was also named as fugitive detector. How were these people arrested? These fugitives thought the concert was crowded and not easy to be arrested. Unexpectedly, they were all identified by the monitoring system installed at the entrance gate and arrested on the spot. Here comes another event. In Chongqing, a Mrs. Chen practiced boxing outside the Jiangnan Sports Center every morning. A few months ago, she lost her wallet during the practice. The guard noticed that the wallet was lying on the public square through the monitor and immediately found who the owner is and returned the items. Mrs. Chen is thankful for this. She says, if there were not these monitors, the wallet might have been stolen. There are cameras everywhere, which makes me feel safe. How do you think about this? Will you consider it a good thing? Because the fact is that the surveillance system did avoid the loss of property. However, have you noticed anything strange in this event? Mrs. Chen claimed that the guard returned her lost wallet just by checking the monitors, watching the monitor and immediately knowing who she is, where she comes from, and what is her phone number, then return the wallet to the lady successfully. Are you curious? How did this guard access all this above-mentioned information? Don't you think it is terrifying? If the police or other person who are concerned want to know who you are, where you live, and what you have done recently, they can know all of this immediately by using Skynet. Let me introduce another situation. Imagine if the Skynet system is installed in the school. One day, the whole class leaves to take a physical education class. When returning to the classroom, someone finds that the wallet in the school bag is gone. We have said that Skynet system's monitor keeps recording every moment in the school. It not only records the thing of the missing wallet, it also records other things, such as students falling asleep in the class, sneaking to use their cell phone, eating snacks, changing their jersey after physical education class, or someone in a skirt accidentally exposed herself. All these private moments will be recorded by Skynet surveillance as well. Maybe some students will be punished for lost record behavior. Here again, would you like to use the Skynet system which monitors everything happening in the classroom? Or would you prefer a classroom without installing any camera? Well, few Chinese citizens have voiced concerns about the omnipresent surveillance cameras. Some citizens are worried about the invasion of privacy. Also, the local and international activists are worried that the Communist Party may use this tool to target dissidents. Now, I have a video for all of you. Please pay attention to it.
你觉得为什么它
摄像头？
对，
因为现在民怨沸腾，就是它真正的用来预防犯罪的效果很少，反对的、不同意见的。那我觉得每天你都感觉到有一只眼睛盯着你，一只无心的眼睛，不管你干什么事儿，你总是有所顾忌。高科技为那个警察维稳提供了方便，所以他们的思路如果不改变，对这么一些意见人士，然后进行监控。 可能是起了更大的作用。
We have said that Skynet system's monitor keeps recording every moment in the school. The monitor records the process of missing the wallet and also records other things. And some students might be punished for lost behavior recorded by Skynet surveillance. So far, we have talked about many privacy-related events, and I think maybe some of you might have a question in mind. What exactly is privacy?
So, what is privacy? Yeah, the answer to that question is pretty abstract, involving the rights of man and ancient philosophical thought, and frankly too much introspection for a short animated web video. So no. Let's ask another. Take a look at your phone. How much information about you is stored on it, and how safe do you think that information is? Do you shop online, exchange messages on social media, Google search, and perform general life-simplifying tasks? Of course you do. It's almost impossible to participate in modern life without doing at least some of that stuff. And you probably lock your phone and keep it safe because, hey, you'd hate for all that information about you to be in anyone else's hands. Well, let's say it already is. Because Google and Facebook and the store you shop at and the location app you turned on yesterday are all happy to collect and mine your information. And this isn't just your phone. This is your whole life. A pretty comprehensive picture of you is being built, which includes your history and future as well. And to be really clear, this isn't just the information you give them knowingly. In fact, you have very little knowledge or control over what information is being emitted. But we've got more. Thanks to new laws, new technologies and certain whistles that have been blown, what we now know is that governments are not just watching terrorists. They're watching all of us. Your phone calls, your internet surfing, your emails, your social networking habits, your locations, even the fact that you're watching this video right now. All of it. Now, people don't always react as strongly as we do to all of this. We hear a lot of, they can spy all they like, I've got nothing to hide, and stop being so paranoid. And the question about how much all this will ever really affect you negatively is kind of why we made this series of animations in the first place. So for now, let's go back to the privacy thing. Privacy, and your human right to it, is the barrier that protects you from people doing things to you. It lets you manage boundaries, so you can open up to those you trust and shut out those you don't. It lets you maintain control. This is your right. But in the last 3 decades, very powerful institutions have tried to tamper with it. It's the individual's right to privacy versus the might and money of governments and corporations. Only the fight is in secret and you don't even know you're taking part. They want to monitor you and make decisions about you, and they also push hard against laws that protect you. They do all this without public debate nor consent, and no one is overseeing them. I mean, this is where you're jumping off the ambivalent boat, right? Because privacy is about power. The more we have, the more power we have over our lives. And not to be overly dramatic, but throughout history, no system of mass surveillance has ever existed that has not ended up being abused. We have literally no idea where all this will end up. But the convenient solution we accept today will be the mandate of tomorrow. That's just how this works. Monitoring us, branding us, categorizing us, and profiting from us. Privacy can stop all this from happening. We can stop this from happening. Find out more at privacyinternational.org.
Privacy is a fundamental right, essential to autonomy and the protection of human dignity, serving as the foundation upon which many other human rights are built. Privacy enables us to create barriers and manage boundaries to protect ourselves from unwarranted interference in our lives, which allows us to negotiate who we are and how we want to interact with the world around us. Privacy helps us establish boundaries to limit who has access to our bodies, places, and things, as well as our communications and our information. The rules that protect privacy gives us the ability to assert our rights in the face of significant power imbalances. As a result, privacy is an essential way we seek to protect ourselves and society against arbitrary and unjustified use of power. By reducing what can be known about us and done to us, while protecting us from others who may wish to exert control. Privacy is essential to who we are as human beings, and we make decisions about it every single day. It gives us a space to be ourselves without judgment, allows us to think freely without discrimination, and is an important element of giving us control over who knows what about us. Why does it matter? In modern society, the deliberation around privacy is a debate about modern freedoms. As we consider how we establish and protect the boundaries around the individual,
and the ability of the individual to have a say in what happens to him or her. We are equally trying to design the assets of modern life, the rules governing the conduct of commerce, and the restraints we place upon the power of the state. Technology has always been intertwined with this right. For instance, our capabilities to protect privacy are greater today than ever before. Yet, the capabilities that now exist for surveillance are without precedent. We can now uniquely identify individuals amidst mass data sets and strings, and equally make decisions about people based on both sources of data. It is now possible for companies and governments to monitor every conversation we conduct, each commercial transaction we undertake, and every location we visit. These capabilities may lead to negative effects on individuals, groups, and even society, as it shows action is cruel and discriminates. They also affect how we think about the relationships between the individual, markets, society, and the state. If the situation arises where institutions we rely upon can come to know us to such a degree, so as to be able to peer into our histories, observe all our actions, and predict our future actions, even greater power imbalances will emerge, where individual autonomy in the face of companies, groups, and governments will effectively disappear, and any deemed aberrant behavior identified, excluded, and even quashed. Perhaps the most significant challenge to privacy is that the right can be compromised without the individual being aware. With other rights, you are aware of the interference, being detained, censored, or restrained. With other rights, you are also aware of the transgressor, the detaining official, the police. However, it is all too common that surveillance is implemented without regard to these protections.
After we understand what privacy is, let's review the events we mentioned in today's course. Today, we talk about Mrs. Chan's wallet was successfully returned to the original owner because of Skynet, and Skynet systems monitor record students' behavior, like sleeping, sneaking at their cell phones, and so on.
In those different events monitored by Skynet, you might find that in different situations, the position of the Skynet project is changed from supported to not supported, or convert from unsupported to supported. It is very normal to change these positions. The establishment and use of Skynet project will involve public interest and personal benefits. Public interest may be law and order, the convenience of various affairs, etc., and personal benefits are like privacy. After the different events mentioned above, there are some issues that we need to think about. First, some people worry that the development of technology increases the risk of exposing personal information. Why do they worry about that? Progressive technology has great benefit to mankind, but we must be cautious to how to use these advanced technologies, even for legitimate reasons. Now, I have a video for all of you. Please pay attention to it.
Would it worry you to know that your every move, your every association was being watched? Does that change something fundamental?
Honestly, I won't feel very comfortable. There's a certain level of discomfort. First, I think technology by itself is a tool for human being, just like a weapon. If it is in the wrong hands, like in a terrorist's hands, it might do very bad things, right? But government do develop weapons. I think there are reasons that technology keep advancing, like artificial intelligence, it can be applied to do a lot of good things.
The other issue is when personal benefits conflict with public interests. How should we deal with the situation? The answer is to find a balance between them. This balance doesn't have standard. The answer should be coordinated by the society. It might differ from time to time, from culture to culture. To illustrate with an example which is similar to facial recognition, Taiwan's previous modification of the Household Registration Act required to take people's fingerprints when replaced the new version of the identification card, which caused many different debates, such as due to the advent of the era of automated information processing in a service-oriented information society. The automatic processing of personal information by public and private institutions is inevitable, even if it is a sensitive information that may affect the individual's autonomous decisions. This information might be displaying ethnic origins and political opinions, religious or philosophical beliefs, the participation of trade unions, and personal information related to health and sexual life. Crimes or alleged crimes are allowed to be collected, processed, used, or disclosed, but only to increase restrictions or strengthen protection, which means the act of taking people's fingerprints is allowed under proper protection. Second, the act of compulsorily collecting fingerprint information invades the private life area which independently formed by individuals, infringes on the personality rights of people, and limits the autonomy and privacy rights of personal information. The last one, the Household Registration Act does not specify how they will store and use the fingerprints, which violates the principle of legal certainty. What was discussed in this event was the conflict between the privacy rights of personal benefits and public interest. How this event finally found a balance. What is this balance between personal benefits and public interest? In the case of collecting fingerprints to replace the new version of the identification card, the Constitutional Court finally interpreted the Constitution in accordance with two reasons below. Considering that fingerprints are significant personal information, and the replacement of new ID cards has other methods with less damage. Thus, the Constitutional Court ruled that the law of replacing a new version of identification card based on fingerprints was unconstitutional. Today, our course is mainly talking about the relationships between the development of technology and the right of privacy. The development of technology has many benefits for our livelihood. However, at the same time, the misuse of technology could infringe our rights, such as the invasion of privacy. As a teacher, I would like to suggest paying attention on your personal rights while you are enjoying the advance of science and technology. Alright, we are finished. See you next time. Bye bye.